Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. We're the famous Man United and we're going to Wembley. Hello everyone, Liam Neild here with the NU review for Manchester United's 2-1 victory in the FA Cup semi-final. We are going back to Wembley next month and we still have something to fight for this season that is well within our reach. Obviously we are still in the race for the top four, but being in the FA Cup final as a fan for me ensures that I will have a vested interest in this season right up until the very end, which makes me so over the moon. I can't even describe it, but I'm going to try to. We beat Everton today at Wembley. It's the first successful trip to the new Wembley in a competitive game, to my memory. We lost the final there in 2007. We lost two semi-finals there in 2009 and 2011. And then we've also lost a Champions League final there. We did win a couple of League Cups, but I mean, do they really count as competitive? I mean, let's be honest. But in this game, you know, I was extremely impressed, to be honest. I mean, we knew going into this game that United were in good form and that Everton were in bad form. We'd already beaten them at the start of this month. So I went in with a bit of cautious optimism, but I was ready to be let down. I'm always ready to be let down this season. And so I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw that we really looked up for it in the first half. We started really strong, played with great tempo, played with a lot of pace, and the link-up between Lingard and Rashford, I was saying it during the game, they could be potentially our Harry Kane and Dele Alli. You know, if they can kick on, I don't think either of them should go to the Euros this summer. Give them a month and a half off, bring them back for pre-season, get them through pre-season. They could be that influential for us. Now, I'm not saying that we can just rely on all our youngsters and we don't have to build the squad around them. We definitely do, but the good thing is that the framework of a young, exciting team is there, and you look at what Spurs have done with a young, exciting team. I'm very optimistic about what can happen there. I thought we could have scored earlier than we did, but ultimately it was that man, Marouane Fellaini, the much maligned, the man, the myth, the legend that is Marouane Fellaini. I mean, what can you say about him? He's either complete garbage or he's alright. He's never amazing, he's never brilliant, but he can do a job. He's strong, he's tall, he can pass the ball when he feels like it, and he can score a few goals for you when he gets in the right positions, and that's exactly what he did. Again, brilliant play from Rashford and Martial. Martial was superb throughout the whole game. Rashford does a great little move to open up the space on the left-hand side. Martial makes the run. Martial then does a great little move to get to the byline, pulls it back. Marouane Fellaini makes the run. He doesn't get the cleanest connection, but it's in the back of the net. And we deserve to have the lead. I thought we could have scored a couple goals in that first half. But to be fair, so could Everton. You know, we got let out of jail a couple of times. Lukaku got around the keeper, and Wayne Rooney, you know, who was also excellent once again today on his return from injury. You know, I think this is his third or fourth game since coming back from injury, and he's been superb in every performance that I've seen him play. Really saves the match in a way there, because if Everton had gone 1-0 up there, you don't know how the game would have gone. We got the lead, and we went into half-time thinking, right, you know, we've got these. And then in the second half, a couple of things happened. You know, I thought that we sort of ran out of steam a little bit, and Everton, of course, you know, really upped their pace. They changed things around a bit. I know that he brought Gerard Deulofeu on, who, of course, got the assist for the goal. But Everton, throughout that whole second half, was threatening. So when they did eventually score, I was disappointed, and I had that sinking feeling that we were going to throw it all away. But I wasn't surprised. I could see it coming. I thought Lukaku had a couple of decent opportunities. He wasn't brilliant today, Lukaku, but he did have a couple of chances where he could have done better and perhaps, you know, really should have put Everton in front in this game a couple of times. But for the actual goal, we were just caught too narrow. I mean, it's simple as that. Fosu Mensah obviously conceded that penalty. How can I forget the penalty? Concedes the penalty. On first viewing, I was irate. I honestly was. On first viewing, I looked at it and I thought, that is never a penalty. He's got the ball. Timbo's been completely hard done by, and I was really spewing at that point because I thought we're going to get completely mugged over here. And eventually, you know, Romelu Lukaku steps up, puts in a powerful, decent penalty, and my man, David De Gea, Dave saves. Hashtag Dave saves. This man is an absolute machine, and that was an unbelievably clutch moment from David De Gea. We needed him right in that moment to come up with the goods. On second viewing, I did think that the penalty was probably a penalty purely because of the way that Timbo went into the tackle. He went in with a sort of scissor motion, and the referees never like that. I don't care how much of the ball you get. I remember in an FA Cup third round match a few years ago, Vincent Kompany went in two-footed studs up, but got the ball as clean as you like off a nanny in an FA Cup tie, and he got a straight red. So the precedent is there. I can see why he did it. Obviously, he didn't get, you know, too much further punishment, and David De Gea bailed him out, and we end up, going up the other end and almost scoring a second ourselves. I don't remember. I can't. It's all a bit of a blur, this game. Real emotional roller coaster, but it was. I don't know if it was before or after the penalty, but we got a ball in. Marouane Fellaini almost got a second. Sort of fired it against Robles, and then went to tuck it away, and Phil Jagielka, as he's falling towards the goal, blocks the ball with his arm, and now I don't think it would have been a red card because Robles might have gotten there with his, hand as he was coming in as well. But it's definitely a penalty because it's a clear handball. It's probably a yellow card, not a red, just for the fact that Robles was covering him. But we didn't even get anything. We got a corner, and to be fair, the referee, there wasn't really much way he could have seen that. It happened so fast, and it was so contained and sort of shielded from his view. But it was a denial of a penalty, and with it, the score's at 0-0 at that point, or 1-0 at that point. That really could have changed the game in our favour and sort of put it away sooner. That being said, Everton kept pushing cleverly, had a couple of opportunities. I was almost certain that either him or Darren Gibson was going to score, because our ex-academy products always seem to score against us, especially if they never score at all until they play us. That happens a lot, and I've got references on that, just not maybe another time. And it gets out to Deulofeu, who was a real menace when he came on for Lennon, who just made Rojo look really, really poor. And Rojo has made himself look very, very poor this season. He was all right today, but he got caught out here. He's way too narrow. He gave him 10 yards of space. Deulofeu just puts it into a dangerous area, and Chris Smalling gets unlucky. I mean, he doesn't make the best decision when he's trying to clear it with his right foot. When he's with his left side facing the goal, that's never a good decision, especially when the ball's coming in at that angle with the pace that it had on it. But obviously, in the position where his legs were at, he was just trying to stop it from getting in the box, and he got really unlucky with the deflection, goes in the back of the net, and you're sort of thinking at that point, bloody hell, they're going to go on and win it now. They've been in the ascendancy for 15 minutes. We hadn't been quite at the races in the second half, and you just sort of had this feeling, this is just going to be another typical FA Cup semi-final. I remember losing to them on penalties back in 2009. They denied us the opportunity to maybe get a treble that season. We would have had two finals, which we would have both lost. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And the fact that as the game went on, you just sort of felt that Everton was sort of going to nick it, but we still managed to keep a decent amount of composure going forward. Now, we weren't as good as we were in the first half, like I said, because the players ran out of energy. And to be perfectly honest, Van Gaal only made 2 subs. One of them was Fosu Mensah, and the second one wasn't until the 87th minute. So that period of play where Everton really started taking over was really due to the fact that we had run ourselves ragged, and that they sort of, capitalised on that. But then, as you bring Herrera on, who actually, I was a bit surprised, because Fellaini had been so good. You bring Herrera on, and he barely gets 3 touches of the ball in the game. But 2 of those touches, one of them is an attempted flick onto Martial, who starts the build-up play at the halfway line, plays a 1-2, plays another 1-2 with Herrera, and it's not really a 1-2, because Herrera, when he tries to play it back, gets blocked, falls on the floor, but then right at the last minute, just prods his foot out, plays it perfectly through for Martial between the 2 Everton centre-backs, who are both rubbish today, and it really disappoints me considering the fact that they're both in line to start for England at the Euros. But Martial just gets in front, and cool as you like, this man has icy blood. He really does. Because he gets there, think about it, in that moment, his heart's probably going a mile a minute, and he just gets that ball, and he just slows it down. He's like 10 yards out, and he just never doubted that he was going to tuck it away. He doesn't try and smash it, he doesn't try and chip the keeper, he just places it right in the bottom corner, in front of the United fans at Wembley, 93rd minute FA Cup semi-final. Get in, Anthony Martial, he's my man of the match. How could he not be? Assist in a goal, especially a goal like that, and they were absolute scenes at Wembley. I mean, that is the sort of thing that makes a season worthwhile. We've had a really rubbish season by our standards. Obviously, we're not, Newcastle fans or, God forbid, Aston Villa fans. But we've had a really rough season in terms of not being entertained by our team. Tons of 0-0 draws, a lot of uncertainty surrounding our manager, surrounding our future, and just watching our rivals, like Liverpool and Man City, just get further and further away from us. This is a really, really big thing for us. It's difficult as a United fan to watch Liverpool and Man City get to the semi-finals of the Europa League and the Champions League, especially when Liverpool knocked us out on the way. You don't want to, you take pleasure when other people lose, but you don't want to give your rivals the satisfaction of getting that glory, no matter how silly it is. It always just bothers me. But at least this way we've got something to hang on to as well. I know it's just the FA Cup, but as far as I'm concerned, the FA Cup is still one of the biggest competitions in the world. I know it's very easy to say that from a club that, very well could go on and win it, especially when we're playing Palace or Watford. To be honest, if we don't win it, I will be really, really gutted. I would be absolutely horrified if we don't win the FA Cup at this point. Not saying it won't happen, but, at this point, for the first time in the FA Cup, I'm truly, truly confident that we're actually going to win the trophy, and that obviously means we're probably going to lose it at the Wembley final. But ultimately, it was a classic semi-final. We have to win the final. That's what really counts. You know, no one cares about a classic semi-final win if you don't go on to win the cup. I mean, no one would have cared about Ryan Giggs' wonder goal if we'd lost to Newcastle in '99. No one's going to care about Anthony Martial's incredible goal today if we don't go on and win the FA Cup for a 12th time. Get us back at least tied top in the FA Cup, you know, all-time winners list. You know, Arsenal got back-to-back ones and sort of leapfrogged us there, but now we can get right back up with them, and then we can kick on and try and get back to the way things used to be. I don't know if the FA Cup alone would save Van Gaal. FA Cup in 4th place, maybe. We'll see. I don't know exactly what's going on. There's lots of rumours about Mourinho, about Giggs, about Pochettino, about anyone and everyone under the sun, and all of them seem to confirm, yeah, Van Gaal's going, Van Gaal's going. But the fact of the matter is the club has made no statement. There has been no official reports of anything. The closest thing we had to an official report was months ago, in December, I think it was, when we were on that really long run, where it was alleged, you know, rather publicly and widely, that Mourinho was had talks with Man United. And, you know, if that's the only official news we have to go on, I'm not 100% convinced he's coming, especially with rumours about PSG floating around. But we'll see. At this point, I don't know what to do. Honestly, I'm glad I'm not Ed Woodward, because I can see the pros and cons to every situation. I can see the pros to keeping Van Gaal with all the youth that he's brought through. Let him finish his 3 years and retire on his own terms, you know. Let him finish out the project. He can maybe buy a couple of more players. I know trusting him with more money might be a little bit dubious for some fans, but if he can get the players he really wants to complete this squad and get them all playing the right way, you could see us having success. Obviously not long term, it would just be for another season, and in that sense I can see why people want us to just move him on now, because it's not good enough right now, and he's not going to be, it's not like it's a long term project, so what's the point in giving him just one more year to be mediocre? So I can see the pros to getting a new manager, and then obviously the debate there is Giggs or Mourinho. And with Giggs, you know, it's a fairy tale. You want to believe that it would work out like Guardiola did at Barcelona, like Luis Enrique is currently working out at Barcelona, but you just get the feeling that it doesn't work that way in England, especially not with a job as big as the United job. So I don't know if we'd give it to Giggs just yet. I feel like I'd rather him go out and get some proper managerial experience and maybe come back in 5, 10, 15 years even, you know, after he's had a good run at another club or another few clubs. And then obviously Pochettino, let's just not even entertain that. That's not happening. Pochettino has been brilliant at Spurs. He might yet win the league title with them. He's not going anywhere. Least of all to a team that probably won't even make the Champions League and might lose the FA Cup final. And with that, I bring out that massive tangent. I bring it back around to the game. We have won. We're through to the FA Cup final. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm about to enter every sweepstakes I can find on the internet to win FA Cup final tickets. I know it's unlikely, but you can't win if you don't try, and at least we tried today and we got the victory. So thank you for watching. It's a bit of a long video. I'll be amazed if anyone's still watching at this point, but if you are, thank you. Like the video, comment if you have anything you want to say, and we're going back to Wembley. I'm really excited.